Hello, and this is week 4 of Parker's Predictions, or episode 4, basically. I'm Parker, he's Jimmy, and we're going to give you some predictions and a recap of what we predicted last week.
Yeah, last week was a very tough week for me. I did not do very good. Parker did much better than I did, so I would trust him way more than I trust myself. But we're gonna go at it again. I mean, that's just the life of predicting college football and a little bit of pro football. We're gonna start off by recapping last week's picks. Parker, how did we do last week? Or how did you do last week? I know how I did.
Last week I went 2-1. Both my college games hit, but the NFL game had the upset.
Okay. And last week I went over. I didn't hit anything. I lost everything. Tennessee let me down.
Come on, man. 27-13.
Yeah, I mean I had
all the hype in the world.
I had the Bills winning big.
I had the Bills winning big too, 38-10.
Yeah.
But they lost.
Yeah, I had them winning 35-10, and we all know how that turned out. And then Texas, I'm a Longhorn fan. I had Texas predicted to lose in a close one, 34-30, and how'd they do?
They won.
Yeah. Let's see if they can get a little bit of that momentum rolling into this week, though, with TCU coming to town.
Game day.
Second time game day is coming to Austin this
That has to be a record.
Oh God, I remember back in the day
coming to a certain location, not just like a certain team. Like it would be different if this was at TCU, but we were playing in
it. This was a long time ago. This was back when Texas, Mizzou, Kansas, the whole Big 12 was just on fire. So it was like, I want to say game day came to Austin twice that year as well.
Who knows? It might come 3 times if Baylor does something.
Oh gosh, that would be awesome.
Imagine that Baylor or even Kansas does something.
The way the Big 12 is shaking up right now is like it's up for grabs. It's up for grabs for second place. I think we all know who's gonna win it.
I mean, no matter what.
For right now.
What? There's 3 games left in the year.
Mm-hmm.
If TCU loses 3, Longhorns win out. We're tied, but we beat them, so we'd be number 1. So we're the only people that can be number 1 still.
I think we can put a little bit of we can put a little dent in their resume this week if we can
knock off that 9-0.
Give them their first loss of the season. That'd be pretty awesome. It's gonna be a tough matchup. And you know that every week we do pick Texas if they are playing. So that'll be our last pick of today's episode. But let's recap that Georgia-Tennessee game real quick. Looks like Georgia went ahead and how did they do on the spread? Did they cover the spread?
Yes, they covered the spread. The under hit, which was surprising.
Okay, so the under did hit. The under was, or the over-under on that was 66. It was a very low-scoring game. Towards the end of that game, I believe it started raining, right? So it was real sloppy football. Kind of hard to move the ball around. So
but
it ended up...
Tennessee, though.
Oh, Tennessee, they just struggled. Man, they struggled. The final was what? What was the final in that game?
27-13.
27-13 was the final. I had Georgia winning. No. Sorry. I had Tennessee winning 45-41, and boy, was I off. What about you? What you have?
I had Georgia winning 45-38, winning by a touchdown, but I was also way off.
But you predicted the winner.
I got the winner.
Okay, Bills Jets. That we all know how that played out.
That.
Yeah, we all know how that played out. Jets showed up. They played a little bit of ball, and they snuck out of there with the win, 2017. Texas went ahead and took care of business in the first half.
Yes, that second half was one of the worst second halves I've ever seen in my life.
Oh gosh, another 3-point second half for Texas. That's not going to get it done, and we're going to talk about that more in the last pick of the episode. But let's move on. So we got that, our little recap of last week. Now we can move on to this week's pick. In college football this week, I think we're going to keep it in the Big 12, right? What do you want to do with that first pick?
The first pick, Baylor, Kansas State.
Okay, so Baylor at No, KSU at Baylor in a night game. Okay, KSU's ranked 23. Baylor is unranked, but sitting tied for second in the Big 12 right now. Right. So, how you feeling about this one?
Pretty good. I think Kansas State's gonna try and show up, try to show Baylor who's boss, but in the end, I feel like Baylor is just gonna come to. Where's this game at?
It's at Baylor, so it's in Waco.
They're gonna stay home. They're gonna get their rest. You know, Kansas State's coming into town. You got to think about this. If you win this game, you actually have a shot at the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor, they're still in the mix, just like Texas is. KSU's coming off of a loss to us. Close game, 34-27. They tried to make it a game there at the end. Baylor they showed Texas Tech who was boss.
Yeah.
45-17. Big win for Baylor, so they're coming in with a little bit.
Basically a bye week.
Yeah, pretty much a bye week, a full head of steam into this game. They're going to be playing in front of the home crowd, which is always good. Those Baylor fans always show up early. It's always cool seeing those students running to their seats. That's a pretty cool, neat thing that they have going on there. Now, Baylor is a 2.5 point favorite.
That'll probably go up to 3 soon.
Could be. I can see that jumping up to 3.
I can see that hitting, though. I can see that spread definitely hitting. With how Baylor's doing, getting that big of a win.
So you think they can cover the 2.5?
Yes, I think they can cover the 2.5. Easy.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Yeah, I could see Baylor definitely covering the 2.5 points. The
I feel like it's gonna be a low score game.
Under. Oh gosh, over under is 53.5.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I think Baylor will try to make that happen. Try to let that over under kind of have a thought of hitting, but Kansas State isn't gonna have it.
Yeah, I think
Baylor's gonna show up, but Kansas State isn't really gonna show up that much.
You think they're a little bit hurt from last week losing to us?
Yeah.
Okay. The guy that I want to look out for in this game is gonna be it may be a little bit of rain in the forecast. So running the ball is key. I think the running back for Baylor, Richard Reese, could have a very, very big day. He's got like 800 yards on the year, 13 touchdowns already. He can really run that rock. I could see that
playing a big role in Baylor's win. Maybe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you run that ball and if you can keep running it and they can't stop it, even though they know it's coming.
Yes.
That's a long day for KSU. So I'm gonna go with Baylor on this.
I'm going
not
with Baylor
only
also.
not only covering the 2.5, but winning by 10. I got Baylor 34-24 in this game.
I got Baylor 27, Kansas State 20.
Okay, so you got them covering the 2.5 as well. All right.
But I don't have that over under hitting. I have the under.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the over. I think there's gonna be some points scored in this game. KSU's gonna give it everything they have, but it's just not gonna be enough.
That Baylor defense.
I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think Baylor's just gonna. I think Baylor with that home field advantage, and they know what they have to do to get to the Big 12 championship.
Where they want to get to.
They come out, they beat KSU. I don't know who they're playing the week after that, but then they got us.
They got us the last week. I have no idea who they play next.
We're definitely going to pick that game. I can tell you right now. That last week before, the Big 12 championship, it's Baylor, Texas. If everybody keeps winning, if Texas wins and Baylor wins, that's going to be an interesting game because that's going to let you know who goes up to Jerry World in Dallas and looks like it's going to play TCU.
Oh yeah, Tennessee, TCU, yeah.
Okay, so all right, so we both got Baylor winning this game. All right, there we go.
That's fair.
Okay, next pick. What do you want to do?
Let's do the NFL game, the Buccaneers and the Seahawks.
So you want to go all the way to Germany for this game? Right. This game is an early morning kickoff.
8:30 a.m.
Okay.
Some people aren't even awake at that time.
All right, so we can either wake up and watch soccer, or we can watch the Bucks and Seahawks. Okay, so we're gonna watch the Bucks and Seahawks. What are the odds? How's everything looking on this game?
The Buccaneers are going into this game favored big time, 83.5. I mean, not 83.5, 83.1%.
On Match Predictor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really, really are leaning towards the Bucks on this game for some reason.
I don't know how. 6-3 team versus 4-5 team?
I don't see it either. I just don't see it. The Seahawks, they seem to be hitting a little bit of a stride here.
Mm-hmm.
They really they won at Arizona last week 31-21. The Bucks squeaked off a victory.
They barely.
I mean, barely.
Comeback kid.
Yeah.
Did his story.
What was that final there? 16-13.
16-13.
Mm-hmm.
And last minute score, I think they scored with 6 seconds left or something like that. That's not supposed to happen.
The Bucks definitely need the win, right?
Mm-hmm.
They really do need to like string together a couple wins here, but
to have a thought at the playoffs and have a thought at the Super Bowl.
So Match Predictor, like we said, 83.1. The Bucks are favored by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
The over/under is sitting at about 44.5 right now. Mike Evans is questionable.
Russell Gage questionable, and Marquise Goodwin questionable.
Marquise Goodwin's a big one for the Hawks. He's questionable as well.
You can't have 2 of your star receivers though.
Yeah.
Questionable. Like
so maybe that's why. Maybe that's what we're missing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're favoring Tampa Bay. Because if it's for what we're seeing actually on the football field as to right now,
the Seahawks
are
going to dominate.
Right? But with all these injuries, playing in Germany, they may see something we don't see. With all that being said, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to listen to my gut.
Yeah,
I got the Seahawks winning 24-17.
I got the Seahawks winning 31-28.
And also take that under because the Bucks are just not scoring points. They're not.
I feel like the Bucks are going to score points this game, though.
You feeling it?
I feel like the Bucks are going to score points this game.
Okay.
I don't know what to say, really. Like, it's hard to predict the Bucks this year.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to see more of it, and I just haven't seen the Bucks come out firing on offense yet. I mean,
I gotta see
maybe
something.
if they just leave the U.S. soil and play overseas, maybe that's the key. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't see it.
You're
gonna have to prove it to me. You're gonna have to prove it to me. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going with the Hawks too.
Okay.
Take that over though.
So you got them with the over. Okay. All right, and then of course the big match of the week, game day.
Game day, college game day.
Okay.
Texas,
which we're gonna try to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what our sign's gonna say quite yet, but we were at the last college game day that came here into Austin.
What did ours say? A Texas win would be awesome, but a loss under 20 would be a win in my book.
That was against Alabama. Yeah, and it happened. It happened. God, I think if we'd have won that game against Alabama
and then win the rest of your games, you're number 1. If you beat Alabama and you're 9-0 right now, you're number 1.
Well, woulda, coulda, shoulda. With the way it sits now, we have 3 losses.
Mm-hmm.
So
3 losses to 3 good teams, though.
Forget it. Yeah.
Not bad teams.
Well, Tech
is but the other 2 teams that we lost to, those are good teams to lose to.
Okay, TCU is coming in ranked number 4. Texas is sitting at 18 right now.
I just want to point this out. Biggest favorite in a top 4 team that is not favored. Texas is favored by 7 points, and they're number 18.
Explain that to me.
That's the biggest favorite for a team not in the top 10 over a team in the top 4.
I don't get that.
The FBS and the FCS.
I don't get that because as we make our picks, we always get to this Texas pick and we're like, well, they're going up against a better team, so obviously, and then we click on the button and Texas is favored.
Yeah.
Like, how? What are we missing here? There's something we're missing. But Texas is favored by 7. They got the over under at 65 points. So
I have that over here.
They're expecting some points.
That barn burner.
I don't know what to think on the matchup predictor. It always throws me off, but Texas is what? 73% on the matchup predictor. So heavy lean towards Texas.
I have no idea how they predict that.
So what are you thinking?
Thinking Texas.
You're thinking Texas. Okay, listen to this though.
You can look at all the stats.
So last week, both teams scored
34 points
in a win.
But one team scored 31 of those before halftime. And one of those teams probably scored 21 after halftime.
I don't know. TCU has definitely.
TCU is a second half team, but like they score in the first half also, so it's hard to say if they're a second half team.
What you can
They
say,
score a
what
lot.
you can say is, as of late, Texas has not been a second half team.
Yes, 3 points.
So no
points.
matter who you're playing, it just seems like Texas doesn't show up in that second as of late. I think the last 2 games that they played, they've scored 6 points total in the second half. That's
horrible.
That's not good enough. That's not going to get you a win this week, and I can tell you that. If you show up and score, even if you show up and score 40 points in the first half and only 3 in the second half, I don't think that's enough.
That's not enough because TCU's going to be holding on at least 20, 30 points in the first half. And then they're just going to roll in that fourth quarter and win that game.
It seems like TCU's got a really, really good their momentum carries out throughout the entire game. So they got a good flow of football for 4 quarters.
Yeah, so whatever you see in the first quarter.
For Texas. I want to see a good flow of football for 4 straight quarters.
That's all I want to see, too. Even if we don't win that game. That's all I want to see.
I think that this is the week
that Texas is saying, hey, look at us. Don't look at all these other teams in the Big 12. Focus on us. We just beat the number 4 team, is what they want to say.
Yeah, and they can do it, but it has to be 4 quarters of football.
Can't be 2. Can't be 3. Can't even be 3.5.
No.
Full 4 quarters.
And this game could come back to a field goal or a last-second touchdown by Texas, or maybe even overtime. One of our secret weapons, which I really hope comes into play this game, is Gary Patterson. We got Gary Patterson. He knows the ins and outs of this team. So
what TCU has
I'm hoping that could be a little bit of a feather in our hat. We
but
may
who knows?
Have that.
He coached them and they were never ranked, and now they got a new coach and now they're number 4. So he doesn't know this new coach.
Yeah, Sonny Dykes seems to have that thing rolling up there. Let's see here. Okay, so Texas favored by 7, over under 65. Texas needs to get over their second half struggles.
You got to look at these points per game, though. TCU, 43.1. Texas, 36.1.
Okay.
Points allowed per game, 21.8 for Texas, 26.9 for TCU. So they allow their opponent to score more points, but they score more points than us. So they're basically saying their defense is worse than ours, but they've played better teams, in my opinion. And then the yards per game, it's not even fair, basically. 408.7 to 447.1.
Okay.
So TCU has the yard advantage, and then the last one, yards allowed per game. TCU, 396.9, so basically 397. But who knows, that 0.1 could come in at the end of the game. And then Texas yards allowed per game, 381.7.
Jeez.
So Texas holds their opponents off mostly by 8. What is that? 15 yards.
Okay.
15.8 yards.
The defense for Texas has been playing some good ball. I like the way they're playing on defense. That has been looking good.
Coburn.
Oh, Coburn.
Sweat.
Yeah.
You got
these are just some absolute monsters out there. Just absolute monsters. Just
350-pound men.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's gonna win the game for Texas. Their offense isn't doing anything this year.
Okay.
So I feel actually their offense is doing some, but
in the first half. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Texas to win. I don't have them covering the 7. I have them winning by 7. I'm definitely going with the over 65.
The over's gonna hit.
I'm gonna go Texas 48-41.
Jeez.
In a shootout of a game.
Yes. I agree with you on a shootout.
It's just gonna be one of those. It could be a little bit rainy, but I think that this is gonna be the week that Ewers puts it together.
Finds Worthy. Finds
exactly.
Swennington,
He took the words right out of my mouth.
Finds Sanders. Finds who else?
Spreads the ball around a little bit. This is to be the game where he kind of spreads the love a little bit.
And we can't forget about all the speed that we have in the backfield too. You got Bijan Robinson, Keelan Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
and then that one other one that I always forget. I can't remember his name right now.
Sorry, no disrespect.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you picking?
I'm gonna pick Texas.
What's your score?
48-45.
Oh,
high scoring
wow.
game.
That's going to be a high scoring game, but a very close game. Okay. So we're both feeling Texas on this. So I think we agreed on every pick.
Oh, Roshan Johnson.
Okay, Roshan Johnson. Sorry, we did the same thing to you last week.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect.
Roshan
You're
Johnson.
a beast. But do us a favor and go off.
Yeah.
So we don't forget your name next week.
Mm-hmm. Let me actually remember your name, like Bijan and Keelan.
Yeah, and you might help also to get some kind of a sports card deal or start selling some mustard on the side or something like that. That helps out as well.
Yeah. Start doing some of that. Get sponsored by Lamborghini or Ferrari.
All right, so here we are. We got all our picks. I think I'm pretty confident about this. I mean, I'm rolling into this Texas game with all the confidence in the world for some crazy reason. I don't know why. TCU looks like the better team.
But Texas, that Bama, if we show up with that Bama team that we had.
That Bama mentality, you know, game day mentality coming to town.
Yeah, game day mentality.
It's a late game. Oh, God, you know, so the lights are going to be on. We're ready to light that tower up, burn orange.
Oh, my God, can you imagine how long that tower's going to be sailing? They could keep that thing lit till next week's game.
Okay. All right. Well, I think these are some good picks. We'll go ahead and look forward to talking to you guys next week.
I just want to say also congrats to the Astros for winning the World Series.
Hey, Astros. Nice win. Nice win. They did it. They did it. I saw a couple extra trash cans in front of their dugout, though. I don't know what that's all about.
I heard some banging.
You heard some banging around, yeah, but they did pull off the win, so good for them. All right. So go ahead and sign us off, bud.
All right. This has been episode 4 of Parker's Predictions with Parker and Jimmy. And I hope we see you guys next week with a Texas win.
Oh, also, before we get out of here, for the people who are watching this, which are mostly family, and we understand that, tell your friends about it, kind of spread the love a little bit. I think we're going to try to maybe even try, and we're not looking to get big or anything. This is just something, a dad and a son doing on a Wednesday night. It's fun for us.
Yes.
But we may even try to, post this on my Facebook and kind of, just to kind of get a couple more people watching. It's fun for us. Hopefully it's fun for you guys. You can watch us make some picks and poke fun at us for the little kind of weird things that we do. But it's fun. We're having a lot of fun doing it. But yeah. All right. Well, hook 'em horns.
Yep.
And we will see you guys
next week.